The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your lovable, squeezably soft host. And once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Well, we opened the day where we're off 44 points on the S&P cash. I think we got down to 2698 or so on the S&P cash. Dow's off 367, NASDAQ's off 159, Russell's off 26. I'm going to say from about 11:30 to 12:30, I was actively covering my short positions. I continue to have a few long-term positions in the Tech Insider, which I have not touched. I like them long-term. For my short positions over the last little bit, well, we got into options expiration. I had one winner at 200%, one that went to a draw, and one that was a loser. So up 100% on the winner, and you take away the 100% on the other one. So still up 100% on one of them. Still a good way to make money. Didn't see the market, although every indication was that the market wanted to go lower on Friday. It was held up. That may be part of triple witching, quadruple witching, and not rollover, but rebalancing that held it up a little higher. We pretty much got to where I've been looking for the market to hit, and that's why I covered my positions. We'll see how that decision comes out by the end of the day. Of course, I have to kind of do the Wayne Gretzky deal, which is skate to where the puck is going, not where it's at now. So I kind of put up my little announcement a little early, but wanted to make sure that everybody got it in plenty of time to cover a triple short on the IWMs. So we made some good money in that in the daily newsletter. But we'll see how the rest of it goes here. We'll talk about why I did that and what's coming up this week and what I think a lot of people are probably not looking at and ignoring one of the biggest things that happens that I pay attention to every month. That is options rollover. It is not uncommon to see, if we have a big down day today, to see an up day tomorrow. And that's just, you need to get in and out of positions, and I suspect that there's a lot of that to the action today, much less the self-flagellation of the financial infotainment cable station, I'm going to call it that, that has one story today and one story only. That's Facebook. We'll talk about that a little bit today. But I think the action's probably over for the day. Now we're going to go into one more day of options rollover. Then we go right into the FOMC announcements, and we'll talk about what I was looking at that made me kind of think that what I want to do is sit back and wait for the market to give me the next signal. And we'll talk about that. Some other stocks really moving out here and why they are moving. A handful of other things. But what we'll do is get started with a little bit of history.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On what is thought the first bank robbery in America, 1831, two men with a set of homemade keys approached the City Bank of New York. The keys, which had been made from wax impressions of the door locks, enabled the men to let themselves into the bank and lock the doors behind them. What happened that night is generally considered to be the first bank robbery in the United States. The two men, James Honeyman and William J. Murray, emptied the vault and several safe deposit boxes. By the morning, they filled several bags with $245,000. That is worth about $45 million in today's money. So these guys made a lot of cash. Interestingly enough, the men sent to track them down made off with some of that cash also. So nobody was clean on this. The cops, these guys had been involved in many petty crimes. This is the first big one that they got involved with. And then, of course, what was it, a sheriff or a police detective that went after him? He put about 50 grand worth of that money in his pocket, split it with the guy that owned the motel that these guys were staying in. And of course, it devolves from there. They ended up giving back a great deal of the money and having fairly light sentences. But on this day in 1831, the first big bank robbery, he said, in the United States. I thought 2680, 2700. Yep, I'm one day off. But what can you say? Options still kind of pointed a little lower, and we'll talk about that. The big thing that I thought that started to really push markets over the weekend are a lot of articles. I'm showing it here on Tiger TV. This is one of about 5 that I saw over the weekend. This is starting, it's been kind of a drip. It's now turning into a stream of this one, but I'll just read you the title. Big Tech needs to face a Theodore Roosevelt-style trust busting. And I think, although we see this in Facebook today, a handful of other things that are interesting. Had a question, and that is someone was asking me about trading patterns in time, i.e. looking for a rhythm in the market. A lot of people have tried to do it. A lot of people think that they've found various rhythms to the market and being able to call it based on time. If you believe that, then I think you should be able to make the fast Fourier transform work. It is a mathematical algorithm, and it's used every day to take somebody's voice out of a musical composition so people can do karaoke. A lot of other things that you can do, but if there are several different things making up sound, it's very easy to take those things apart and rebuild them minus what you don't like, or maybe even add a little bit to what you do like. Fast Fourier transforms have been around for a long time, but if you think that there is some kind of thing that has a frequency to it in the stock market, you can use fast Fourier transforms, and they will tell you. My experience, I'll tell you about when we come back, but that will be it. Yeah, we'll be back in just a second.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Anyway, I just got yet another one of my pet peeves lately that is of about just saw it here again of incredibly lazy and shiftless reporting by snakes and weasels and skunks. We'll talk about that in the next second here. I wanted to finish my thought on real technical trading. Anyway, fast Fourier transforms. Got some questions during the break, but if you think that there is some kind of periodic pattern in time, it will find them. I've run every which way I can think of. And what you will find out if you spend the time that I did using this and actually trying to find rhythms in the market is that there's two really decent times where you've got about 1.5% upside in the market, which isn't a whole lot, but it is over time fairly significant. And that is the week going into options expiration. And the other one is fund buying, and it exists. And you can see it fairly easily running these things. A lot of times you just need to do a little work so that you can get the data to the fast Fourier transform. One of them is just trying to find the third Friday of every month, because that's options expiration. The other one is finding the last 2 trading days and first 3 trading days of the month for fund buying. So, you know, both of those are not very tough. You could write them in a spreadsheet. I wrote them in my chosen language, which is C# with .NET framework, which makes things really easy if you know anything about programming. But an interesting way to do it. Now, I just saw it again because someone posted an article in here, and it says something about research company with links to X. And what do links mean? Is that just an easy way to slime somebody? I imagine that I could say that Mr. Zuckerberg had links to Hitler and Stalin. And I think through some convoluted way, I could find that he had either been related to somebody that once had been a Russian. So what do links mean? Is that just the new way to slime people with absolutely zero proof and no allegation? So anyway, that one has been the one that has been brought out in the last 6 months that literally means nothing, but everybody is kind of hiddenly saying that these people are dirty because they have links to this and links to that. Well, I can tell anybody that they've got links to something. So anyway, it's just something that bugs me lately. Yeah, slime everywhere, slime everybody. I've been slimed in Ghostbusters. Just drives me nuts to see that link because I want to say, man, you were linked to murders. Yeah, if you're a reporter, you might have bumped into a few of them. Well, they have links to murders. I'd love for people to go after the press that are that lazy and stupid to write links. Either they done something wrong and you accuse them, or you shut up and get the information, and then you can accuse them. But this link seems to me, isn't that this the new McCarthyism? Links to this, links to that. Links, what does it mean? I don't know. Doesn't mean anything, but an easy way to slime people by lazy and shiftless and skunky and vermin-like reporters. Okay, so what do we have out here today? I wanted to start looking at something. Just little things starting to really bug me later in life. That's one of them. Of course, I'm certainly I will now be linked to something. Probably, I probably have links to the Lindbergh baby kidnapping by the time I'm off the air, I bet. Okay, so I wanted to look at a few things. First one was OLED. It's probably I'm going to say it's one of the worst performers. It's off 15% today. And a little bit of I told you thusly when we I informed you thusly.
I informed you thusly.
Yes, I informed you thusly. If anybody had been listening to me and Tom talk on Friday afternoons for the last year, we've maybe 2 years, we've talked about how Apple has gotten into the business of developing their own hardware. In doing so, that they have at least 3,500, if not more, engineers all around between Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin, in that corridor that used to be a huge 1960s and 70s tech center of chip building by, I'm going to call it the older, the beginning integrated circuit manufacturers, sans Intel, were all through there, Motorola and the rest of them, Texas Instruments. They had all their manufacturing, everything down there. Well, we've been talking about this for at least 2 years for them moving down there. And everybody acts like it's a brand new day out here when all they had to do was listen to me and see. Anyway, Cambridge Technology getting a big punt because someone says that Apple's actually working on their own displays. And it was like news to these folks who I guess ignored this thing up at 209, having the same issues, now down at 104.15. Tried to short this thing, never got any shares on it when it was up there at the highs. So it will be the fish that got away. But a fairly easy one in retrospect to look at shorting, because these guys are the ones that get royalties back for using the organic LED light displays that Samsung sells to Apple. But we've talked about how Apple doesn't like the fact that Samsung is their biggest competitor. So they want to be building their own stuff that Samsung doesn't have access to it. So at least they can say it's different. I don't know if it'll be better, certainly different. Of course, they've been investing in other companies where they could actually use some of this OLED technology and put their fingerprint on it, so it doesn't have to have that horrible little notch at the top. It doesn't have to have other things like the fingerprint sensor that's maybe a little bit better that it now has now. But they put, what was that company? I want to say it's Finistar that they put $500 million into between Dallas-Fort Worth. Anyway, down on huge volume, blowing away lows. I was kind of shocked when this thing really took off because the stock looked really horrible back at 60. Went all the way to 209. I suspect that over time this thing is going to go back around 60 bucks again. It's breaking this high. But this is all about Apple and Apple building their own components. So as we look at the months to come, can it be any different, or will it be any different with the other manufacturers that are out here that are doing one thing, and that is Apple wants to put everything they can in-house so they don't have to compete with other people with the exact same hardware. We'll continue to work hard on software. We'll look at Apple when we come back.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're looking at Apple. You know, you tested the highs on about the same volume. What you didn't have is any kind of energy going back up to this high. That's February 9th. The low, 150.24, back up to the high. Again, you had okay volume at that high. You just didn't have any real energy off February 9th low. It's rolling over, doesn't have a lot of volume. But again, that's the entire market. We haven't really talked about it. But we don't even have 2 billion shares on the NYSE consolidated tape coming into the bottom of the hour here at 2:30. So what should we have on a day where we move down 40 points? Well, we should have some volume, and it's not exciting. So I'm going to say, if anybody asks why I covered my shorts today and really haven't added or put in any kind of long positions here, is I don't see any reason to be long. But if you're at this point now and, you were pretty close to 100 points off the top, maybe you could take a little cash. But for me, I think we're kind of waiting for the FOMC meeting. And certainly without the kind of volume here, we could certainly see a fairly decent bounce even off these lows. And it's not uncommon to see options roll over, which is exactly that, which is, you get one big push down, then you get a push up, and that gets all the everybody out of the positions that they had pre-expiration, gets them set up with new positions for the next expiration cycle. And this is going to be a long one. This one goes into April the 20th. So it's going to be a fairly long expiration move from now. You've got a full 30 days from today for that. So it's kind of interesting. Now, one of the reasons why I am sitting back on the side and was glad that I got this gift, I think, to cover my shorts today, was that we have a lot of triangle patterns setting up. I think the Dow and the NYSE were set up the best. And what are we off here on the Dow? Okay, 2452. What is that? Oh, this is the NYSE. So both of these had set up, the NYSE, the Dow set up in these triangle patterns. There were a bunch of other stocks that were in these triangle patterns. And if you've listened to the show for very long, you know one thing, and that is that I love to see these things break first of these triangle patterns and then put my trade on. So if we push down here for a few days and break with light volume this triangle pattern in the NYSE composite and others, and that is light volume, that's going to be a false break. Now, these patterns in these triangles, if they get 3/4 of the way to the apex of these, generally 80% of the time, you're going to see these things, the first move that they make is a head fake of the next big move. So we've got a few things. We've got a big move of some 50 points on the S&P cash. We've got it with very light volume so far. Like I said, not even 2 billion shares on the NYSE consolidated tape. A little bit better on the CBO market volume summary. We're about 4.2 billion shares. With about an hour and a half, that's going to put us in about 6.5 billion shares, maybe 7 billion shares for the day, which is kind of average. It's not an expansion of volume. Now, maybe that comes at the end of the day. But my guess is that we will see some kind of bounce tomorrow for options expiration. Then we get to the FOMC meeting. We're probably going to see a lot of head fakes there. And by the end of trading on Wednesday and into Thursday, maybe we could see that kind of push down that finally puts some kind of tradable low into the market Thursday or Friday. Anyway, I'm sitting on my hands other than the long-term positions that I like. Okay, what else do we have? Take a look at some other things. Okay, 2,700 on the S&P cash, down 432 on the Dow. So we're just sitting out here. Again, we'll watch those volumes. We looked at Facebook or talked about Facebook. You're off. Did we show the chart? We're off fairly decently. But I don't know if this actually, even all this news changes anything. So I think that's an answer to a question here. In my email, you can always email me at path@tfnn.com. Almost all this stuff for these high flyers has been ignored after a handful of days. My guess is that this will be also. Probably the only thing would be is if Zuckerberg is dragged in front of Congress and has to testify himself. If he's allowed to send other folks to testify for Facebook, probably not as big a deal. What else do we have out here? We looked at that. Question to look at Tesla. So we will do that also. Okay. You're kind of moving down. Again, you've got this high volume low at 294.76. The problem is this thing is perpetually 30% short. So every time you go down a few bucks, you got people more than willing to cover, which just slows these down. I'm a big fan of not shorting high shorted stocks, even when it's pretty apparent, as this is, that it's going lower. Eventually, you'll have something that'll gap this thing down. But every time you've got these huge things, the potential for being squeezed out is fairly big. And also on the downside, there are a ton of people waiting for every single move lower to cover. But this one is always perpetually the highest shorted stock, I think on average for the last year. But I don't know. Got another question to take a quick look at the IBB and whether or not this is going to test 105 again. This thing has found some fairly decent support in that 105 area. It spiked it and down through to 101 on February 9th. But by the end of the day, it was back up to 105. On the 2nd of March, you had 4 million shares, and it rocketed back up that day after opening a little lower, back higher. Today, you're down, again, 1.5 million shares. You're going into this candle that had 4 million shares on the upside. And again, why I think if we're going to get any volume or any huge move the rest of this week, it's going to be after that FOMC meeting. We could get down to 2680 on the S&P cash, where I might even look at individual stocks at that level to see whether or not there are some that I might even buy before the FOMC meeting that are a good risk reward. Got some other things. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And you can always, post a message in the den? How about anything but groupthink? That's it. Just a few messages in the den. We'll go back to the email. I got a couple more here in the email pin. We'll look at those when we come back.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks. Would you like exposure to the foreign currency markets without any downside risk to your principal? Then consider the Petro Currencies Market Safe CD from Everbank. This 3-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD leverages the performance of 4 equally weighted currencies from these top oil-producing countries: Brazil, Canada, Mexico, and Russia. This CD features a 200% leverage factor, which means that your potential upside payment will be double the currency's average performance at maturity with no cap if the currencies increase in value over the CD's term. And if the returns are negative, your principal's 100% protected. Returns are based on CD performance with no correlation to the price of oil, and there is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this index CD. The April 19th funding deadline will be here before you know it. So call 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a division of TIAA FSB, member FDIC.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And somebody wanted me to do an update on AMD. I think it was 7-10 days ago. Someone asked me about AMD and what I thought about it. Nothing's changed in this. I continue to not see a great deal of upside. I also see a great deal of articles that seem rather dubious when you listen to the executives at AMD and then the people that continue to say how much money they're making because of mining Bitcoins. Now that Bitcoin's, I don't know what it is now, it was 8,200 this morning. But I always see kind of these dubious articles when it's probably a good time to be distributing the stock. And I don't see anything that's changed in here. They lost the best guy they had for their video cards to Intel. And it's just very tough for these guys to go up against the strength of Intel, but and NVIDIA both. But what you did have is some fairly strong volume that has led to lower prices out here. What I wouldn't short a stock under 30 bucks. I just don't understand and don't see a big signal out here that tells me that there's a lot of money in this. Maybe a trading range from 1150 to 1385. Again, I just don't see the big movement in this one that really gets me excited. Okay, we got a question here. I think this is Travago, TRVG. You know, ever since Expedia got whacked, these things have been rather dubious. Priceline, what's the Priceline now? It's now bookings.com, isn't it? BKNG. Bookings.com. This one seems the name change did a lot for it. They weren't really doing that well. Had a lot of short interest from whiffing a couple of times before. In fact, it went from what? Let's go back here and look at it. 1900 to 1630 before coming back up to 1984, whiffing again and coming down to 1700. It busted out on earnings that was in league with them changing their name, but they had a lot of shorts on it. I've been dubious about this, but this is the stronger one of the bunch. Expedia itself basically has just come back up and started to fill, or tried to fill, this gap. It's been banging around the 115 area, but man, they really whiffed. Pricelines whiffed a few times. I suspect maybe this whole sector is just maybe another quarter or two away from coming to a lot of reality, which is there's probably far too many of these people in this business, but just an idea. Okay, I'll try to figure that out during the break. Although I know the answer. Do I have enough to answer? Okay, the question is, do you have any guess? I don't need to have a guess. Who disclosed the Cambridge Analytica info? It was a programmer that worked there that didn't like the political party that was using their data, and that was it. He just didn't like it, so he went to the press and told them all about it. But it was somebody from Cambridge Analytica themselves. I think it's in the paper, and I think I saw the guy over the weekend. Again, I think a lot of people are probably making a bigger deal out of this than the market will take, just because they've been giving all their information away for forever, and now they're surprised when someone actually uses it. I mean, how many times have I seen something I've written in an email on Google Mail, and then suddenly I get an ad for the thing? I mean, they're scanning my email, they're scanning everything. You got to know that all of them are using their data for anybody that will pay for it. Now, I don't know if there's anything to really be surprised about in the whole thing, but yeah, that's just me. Everybody kind of gave up on that a long time ago. Yep. They're shocked. They're shocked that there's gambling in Casablanca. Here's your winnings, sir. Oh, thank you. Always one of the best examples of hypocrisy. Okay, so let's take a look at some other stocks. Again, you can email me at path@tfnn.com. And is this it? Okay. Got a question about this one. No, I don't think that you've got a tradable short in this one. Came down on huge volume on the 14th of 1.46 million shares. It's just kind of gone sideways out here. You didn't really break. What do you need? 400,000 shares. You broke it with almost 800,000 shares the day after that March 1st low. So I don't see a great deal in that one. Let's see if there's anything else in my list that I wanted to look at. That's not it. I clicked one high. BG, which is Bungie, actually setting up fairly well. And of course, they sell a lot of stuff. But this is one that went up to the 83.20 February 5th high on good energy. You had a real big day, the 19th of January, where this went up on 4.7 million shares. You're now back down at the very end of this with what we've got a little less than 700,000 shares here today. That's compared to the 2.2 million shares on Friday. And yeah, so you've got some fairly good days. You spiked down on 4.7 million shares on the 9th. So, I mean, there are some stocks out here that are starting to look fairly good. There were a lot of those tech stocks, and we showed them last week, where the leg back up to those previous highs just had no juice in it. Now we're starting to see just the opposite in some of these non-tech stocks, which is these things are coming down with lighter volume and look to be the next stronger move. Man, if this thing could hit about $70 and volume remain light, Bungie would be very interesting. Okay. quick from Greg in Portland, wants to look at CRTO. We'll do that. Okay. We'll look at this when we come back. Got plenty of time today. Finish up this last segment. Crypto, SA. When we come back.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
You don't buy into that nonsense, do you? You know you can't time the markets. I didn't. And in 2006, I set out on a mission to do just that. I began by surrounding myself with the greats like Tom O'Brien, Larry Pesavento, David White, and Basil Chapman. I read countless books and even looked to the moon and planets for answers. Now, we both know that trading is 80% mental. So I learned the exact tools that Tony Robbins uses to overcome fear. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability. And last March, the folks at Timers Digest began tracking my newsletter signals, which through January 18, 2018, placed me as the #1 gold timer for that exact time frame. Now, I can't officially be recognized until Timers Digest has a full year of signals, but clearly I've learned how to time the markets, and I'd like to teach you how to do that as well. Subscribers to Mastering Probability gain access to my live and archive workshops where I show you the exact same patterns that earned me this #1 ranking. If you're looking for great market calls and an education, sign up for Mastering Probability today at TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Prieto, which is a stock that I bought. It was going into earnings, and I did not hold it for this gap up, but it was one of the best looking patterns that I could find at that time. It didn't do anything, so I went ahead and sold it. Earnings did come out and it bounced, but there'll be another fish that got away from me. There have been a few. What you would really love to see on this one to buy the pullback is about $27. So maybe you get that opportunity, maybe you don't. But if you're not familiar with this company, it looks pretty good. Anyway, it does a lot of work in Europe, and some of the products of our FANG stocks getting a giant roto-rooter about their policies is going to be whether or not those guys in May can actually live up to the requirements that the EU is imposing on things like data privacy. So my thought is that this sector probably looks pretty good in the face of regulatory headwinds, especially in Europe. But these guys are out of France, so keep an eye on them. I like the way this thing bounced. It had a lot of energy. It did its consolidation, but about 27 bucks would be what I'd be looking at. And it's got kind of a double gap out there. Light volume pullback is exactly what you need. The problem is you may not get it, but there's always another bus coming along in 10 minutes or so. So you can always take a look at that. In the meantime, sell when you can. I did that today. Recover when you can. You got shorts. Not when you have to. Now tomorrow, see ya. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.